I grew up with my mother and father. My mother, she's a veteran who recently retired. I have two boys. I have a 13-year-old and 11-year-old. My 13-year-old son, he lives with me at home, and my 11-year-old son lives with his mother in Chicago. I had a rough childhood growing up. I went through a lot of struggles, before the military. I don't know if you know much about Gary, Indiana, but at the time that I was growing up in, it was considered the murder capital of the world. I've had two uncles murdered, and it was a rough lifestyle, really growing up. And so if I could prevent my sons and my family from having to kind of go through those struggles again and be able to create opportunities for themselves, that would be, my biggest goal. So after leaving the Army, it was pretty rough. I thought I kind of had everything together because, while I was deployed, I'd finished my associate's degree. My last year in the Army, I went to barber school and even picked up my real estate license. And so I figured that, I had enough tools, plus I had my Army experience that things would go smooth. And after I got out, I ended up getting divorced. And after my divorce happened, things kind of spiraled a little bit. Some of those troubles was just maintaining a job. It was difficult because once you get out the military, it's a lot of, I think, being deployed, it's a lot of a thrill. It's an entire different lifestyle, and when you get out, you kind of expect like a similar life, and you kind of realize, you come to a point where you realize, like, hey, I'm an actual civilian. But yeah, some of those troubles was being able to explain, my military background, because I really didn't have a degree, and like people don't really, employers weren't necessarily looking at military as a positive thing. I had one case where I was actually in Oakland, and a company had asked me to interview with them, and after the interview, I was told that, basically because of my military background, that I wouldn't be a cultural fit. And that was kind of like my first time hearing that term, like cultural fit. Like I really didn't understand, like, what a cultural fit means in technology. And that was probably my biggest issue that I'd faced. I learned about Source to Plowshare through a program called Fresh Start. So after the military and after my divorce, I ended up dealing with some substance abuse issues, and I decided to seek some help. And during that time, while I was getting myself together, I also needed housing. I was getting myself enrolled in college, trying to figure out what did I want to do at that time, and yeah, so I ended up connecting with Randall over at Source to Plowshare, and he kind of like started to like lift the weight off my shoulders, letting me know that like. Because I didn't ever think I would get housing. I mean, it was just like, compared to where you're in Indiana, where a 2-bedroom costs you $600 a month. I never thought that I'd be able to have a home now, and in a city where an average 1-bedroom costs $3,000 a month. When I got with Randall, he kind of like set up a roadmap for me. So once I found a place that was located near my school, Source to Plowshare assisted me by providing my first and last month's deposit for my apartment. Since I found stable housing, I've been able to finish college. I graduated from Academy of Art University with a bachelor's degree in communications and media technology. I completed code school at Galvanize, which was a 6-month immersive program where I completed a full stack web development certification. And also I've volunteered coding, and currently I'm a software engineer at LinkedIn. Living with my son, you can see him doing a lot of things that I'm doing, and he's coding now. He's playing sports. He's playing sports in school, playing football. So it's just amazing, just to see that, to be able to provide for him, and just to make sure that he has a good life. I have veteran friends who we were at networking events just 3 years ago, and now they're working at Facebook, or now they're working at other major companies. And so keeping those relationships and keeping that camaraderie, and just having that group of people that you kind of know that, like, hey, we're a veteran. It doesn't matter if you're black. It don't matter if you're white, what color you are. That we know that at one point we had the same mission, goal, and experiences, and I just feel like it's important to kind of stay a part of that family and keep the veterans, moving forward.